I'll work you out, get you right with your physical. Always just another interlude. Asking all the questions, girl, you know I don't do interviews. It's pitiful that when I'm with them other bitches, I pretend it's you. Oh, you work at Kohl's, you in dental school.
Yes, sir. It's the Interlude back with another recording here, and we have again another guest for the show, man.
Yes, sir.
Let them know. Tell them where you based at, man. Tell them your name, everything, man. What's up with you?
Man, what's your deal, man? It's Cartier Che, based out of Kansas City, Missouri. Missouri side 816. Yes, sir.
The Missouri side.
KC,
Yes,
folks.
sir.
How you doing today, man? Everything cool
I'm
with
good,
you?
man. I'm good, man. How you doing, man? Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's our
Long
pleasure.
overdue.
Right.
It's
No,
long
definitely.
overdue.
Been working on it for a minute, man, trying to get it to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. But Jesse, you want to jump right in? You want me to ask the first question? How you want to do it?
Now, I could jump right into it, man. For starters, what made you get into music? Straight up, like let's go from there.
Shit. I mean, just being young, you know what I'm saying? Grow up. I had an older brother that was like, considerably older than me. You know what I'm saying? So I used to sneak into his CD books, you know what I'm saying, and get the Nas albums, the Jay-Z albums, the Hot Boy albums, you know what I'm saying? And, it really pretty much started from there, bro. Michael Jackson, for sure. That was like my first artist that really, like a lot of people.
Mike the truth, bro. Like Mike is really the truth, bro.
Yeah. Definitely the GOAT, for sure.
What's up?
Yeah, but, just growing up, other than playing basketball, for real, it was always, I had my headphones on, so I always had these ideas, you know what I'm saying? Not even really just with the rapping, but, just having my own label, as a whole. I grew up watching Cash Money and just watching how Lil Wayne grew up, you know what I'm saying? And then, he ended up running stuff. And that's pretty much kind of like what inspired me to get into it,
Yeah, that's real. Now the CD books though, that's real as fuck. I ain't seen or heard about a CD book in some years now.
Yeah.
It used to be real. No, CD books was legit.
Yeah.
All your mixes and everything. Like
yeah.
It was
he had everything from, it don't even matter the artist. He had it. You know what I'm saying? Fast CD books. And that's what I was just into.
Them CD player days was real, dog. Like that's how you knew you was a true fan for real. Like you going out and buying CDs, bro.
Yeah, for sure, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
loading up on the batteries on and stuff too. Like,
right.
And you definitely had to keep up with the batteries, dog.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
AAA. Yeah, no, you needed it. Well, man, how would you describe the music that you create?
I feel like a lot of my music, it's a lot of different avenues I take with it. Some of it's personal. I just feel like, if you're just somebody who's came up like dealing with situations, just hardships, you know what I'm saying, dealing with friends, family members, you know what I'm saying, relationships with just people in general that like you feel like might not went the way that you thought it was, I make music like that, you know what I'm saying. I turn up too, but that's pretty much drives my music, you know what I'm saying, just kind of like an open diary, let people know what I'm thinking, for sure.
It's real. So it's supposed to be.
For a lot of people that are viewing this for the first time, his sound is really. I think one thing that I like and respect about your sound, and that's one thing that a lot of KC artists have, that y'all derive a lot of Bay Area sound. You know what I'm saying? And it's really y'all core. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like when I hear of a KC artist, it's rare that you don't hear the sound of a Bay Area influence. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like a lot of people from the Bay migrated from that area and,
right.
settled down in KC. And the fact that you're continuing on that influence and stuff like that, I really respect that, dog. Like I really rock with that. Like keep it up and shoot, even evolve that sound in a sense like that. What do you think? Since talking about that, from the fact that you got a Bay Area sound in a sense like that and KC based, what do you think separates your music from everyone else?
I like to think I'm, very organic with my music. I really take pride in trying to find the right beat selection. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, with the flow, it's kind of like you can't really help where you come from sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But the beat selection, the overall message, like my cadences. I take pride in like the cadences and melodies I have because it might be unorthodox to, you know, a lot of people, but that's how, you know, that's how I like to write my signature on it. My cadences is like, you know, you're not gonna get these type of cadences, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm giving them for real, straight up.
Facts.
But yeah, definitely. I want you to speak more to that Bay Area influence and if some of your like biggest musical influences are like from the Bay Area actually, and if they're not, like who else are they, or who else are your musical influences?
I mean, as far as the Bay Area, you like growing up, we listen to E40 heavy. It's a lot of, you know, OG or like artists out here. Bill Bridges working with like artists out there. As far as influences growing up, like Lil Wayne was definitely my main influence. Jay-Z, obviously. Really Lil Wayne, like that's really been like, that was always like the person I look to for like even looking at the business side of things, like even early, you know what I'm saying? Even like how he put on Drake and Nicki and how he even managed that, you know what I'm saying? Later on, you know, Nipsey, of course, like became like my influence. You know, that's still Cali related. So, you know what I'm saying? Nipsey for sure. Like Wayne and Nipsey is really my top two, like with this for sure.
Yeah, no, that's what is Desi doing? No, but no, that's what's up. That's what Nip is like. Nip was somebody I wish I was hip to. I wish I had got hip to Nipsey sooner. Like I didn't get hip to Nipsey until late, and not only just from a music tip, but like what he was about, like what he stood for. I just feel like that was so rare in music, and it was so rare for what he stood for, who he was, through so organically.
Exactly.
So do you feel like, I know you spoke to it, but do you feel like a lot of your experience is kind of like what you learn, what you stand for? Do you feel like you are intentionally, you know, trying to make sure that comes through in your music?
Yeah, for sure. I'm all about getting a bag. So like that's kind of like the music I try to make too, is anthems. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can go get a bag too. And that's all I want to do. Like I'm just trying to like pave the way for the people, you know, in my corner, the ones that's depend on me. You know what I'm saying? I got other artists I work with, you know, closely with, and like I'm back. Okay. Fade out for me, my fault. But yeah, but like I got a lot of artists that I work closely with, and I'm just trying to build that bridge for them, you know, even through what I'm doing. And even like with the Nipsey thing, like you said, like with the marathon and everything, like that's really big on me because I've always thought about having my own, you know, flagship, you know, and mine's the table, you know what I'm saying? Jesse familiar and everything, bring something to the table. And that's just what I'm all about. I'm just trying to, you know, use my talent to create, you know, avenues for everybody else around me for real.
My question to you, and me and you, we debate music, we debate culture, we debate anything that can be debated, right? This just been us. How do you, in the state of hip hop rap, this is something that we always talk about. This is something I'm always challenging you about, even when you sending me tracks and stuff like that. Do you believe the art of lyricism is dead for rap in the state of hip hop right now?
Nah, I really don't, because you got like Mozzie's who are really lyrical, you know what I'm saying? And he's bringing that on just different types of cadences, and you know what I'm saying, and beat selection. Because I mean, really, like lyrically, Mozzie, I really see he's up there, top 5 right now. I feel like, you know, lyrically, and he's still, you know what I'm saying, he's bringing that lyricism to you, and he's also like giving you like that beats, because like I mean, people want to hear beats more than the lyrics these days. You know what I'm saying? Like for sure. Like I feel like it's all about beat selection. So when you can bring both of them like together, still, you good. Even Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick does the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like West Coast artists are really, really good at that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one of the things, bro. Like I feel like as rap and hip hop, that's something very, very, that's really an art, bro. Like it's very hard to be a lyricist and to still market your lyrics and your music as mainstream, because hip hop and mainstream have moved so far away from that. It's like you gotta have a great cadence, you gotta have a melody, you gotta have something that people can dance to, or they can play on. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Have to be catchy. You can't just sit there and be like, I'm gonna rap about this, and that, and then just have your team market it. I feel like in hip hop right now, the only person that can really, really do that is Kendrick. I know people will argue me Drake, but and Cole, but honestly, is Kendrick has it to where he can be so lyrical that his music can still be marketed as mainstream. Like, for instance, Damn, like that album, a lot of people, because of the melodies and how commercial it was, I don't think a lot of people, they caught the messages, but I think they really caught a lot of the vibe of what the album was giving off, like that. So,
Damn wasn't that much different from To Pimp a Butterfly from a subject matter standpoint and from a content standpoint. Like you said, it just had a different sound, which I just think was more easily digestible for a lot of people than the Pimp a Butterfly was, because that was just straight on like, this is black and this is everything about it is black, and all these uncomfortable topics don't come up, and it's gonna have this jazz blues influence that makes it like even more sad and shit. But Damn, you know, you got the songs like Loyal, you got your DNAs and stuff like that. You got these sounds that are just more, not even catchy, they just more kind of like relevant sounds of today, sounds people are gonna, you know, listen to more often. So I think that's a huge difference. But I like what you said though. I think that the difference or what separates a lot of West Coast rappers is that they are probably, I would argue, the only region that is not afraid to kind of experiment and adapt with sounds. Like if you think about East Coast rappers, even like all your Southern rappers, their style is their style. They're not changing it. They're not really trying to be different, which is fine. But I think the fact that West Coast rappers more than other regions like try to experiment, I just think that speaks to what you said in terms of them being lyrical and it being more difficult to market, but not taking away from them.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see, another question for you. What would be your dream collaboration?
I can give you all time or what? Like talking about right now? What you?
I mean, all time right now.
Okay, let me do it like this. Okay, if you can have your all-time collaboration with an artist and your all-time collaboration with a producer, let's break it up into two sections. Who would it be?
Artist. Hey, honestly, artist and producer, I might have to go with Kanye.
Very fair.
Like,
very fair.
Yeah, if we're going, yeah.
I don't even think they don't even need no explanation for that.
That's a movie.
So look,
of course,
who would you say is your Mount Rushmore of music? Ain't even, yeah, we getting there. What's your Mount Rushmore, dog? And don't be biased and try to say you. Like, let's really get into it.
I got you. I got you.
All right.
Wayne number 1. Biggie's number 2. Jay-Z's number 3. Man.
Mm-hmm.
That fourth one always hard for everybody.
It is, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie. I got Pac, Kanye, or Drake. I ain't gonna lie. That's like always my ones I'm stuck on. But I'm really like just longevity wise, I might have to just say Drake just for the sake of like 10 years from now. We still got like another 10 years of that, man.
It's really like, it's really, I think a lot of people try to do it, but it's really hard to argue Drake's run of a decade. Like,
that's all it is. And yeah, Jesse hates that. He hates it.
I mean, I hate it too. Like, I'm not a huge Drake fan, but there's just no way you can be a music fan and not acknowledge his relevancy over.
And I do that. Like, that is something that I do. I acknowledge the fact that he's had a very, very long career. I think my only problem, like, this is my thing. I use this reference. For the longest, I was not a LeBron fan. I think he was overhyped in a sense. So in that sense, at the time, no. It's my reference. I believe that LeBron was overhyped. You got to think, I'm a Kobe fan. I'm an all-time Kobe fan. And so I sent something, bro. Did I send something?
I want you to finish first. I want you to finish
All
before
right, look.
your
So,
reference.
in my reference, LeBron was overhyped. So Drake, in a sense, was overhyped. But because I am a fan of music and a fan of hip hop, I can't sit there and knock what he has done for the past 10 years and say, nah, bro, he's whack, because I ain't gonna fake it. I gotta hit the Russell Westbrook gift. From time to time, I do be on the side, bump it, nothing was the same, bump it, some, take care and stuff like that. Like, I respect his music and I appreciate what he's giving us. But I think some people go overboard and say that he's the greatest of all time or he's this and that. Like, let it mellow. Everything that Drake dropped doesn't turn to gold, but streams does it. But in all aspect of sound and what he's given us, I believe that Drake hasn't topped a lot of his best work, and I don't think he will top a lot of his best work.
So Drake is the LeBron of the rap.
Oh, hold on now. I use for my reference. This is what I said. You heard clearly what I said.
I did hear what you said.
I just feel like that Drake at times can be overhyped. I'm not saying he's the LeBron of hip hop. Anything. He's Drake. Drake is Drake. I just feel like.
You said LeBron was overhyped.
But I respect LeBron.
You know,
I respect. No. I respect LeBron, and he's playing for my favorite team right now. Like, I can't hate him. I can't hate him. But it's like, I don't think me personally, I don't think I've hit that respect as what I've had for. I don't think I've hit that respect for Drake as what I've had for what I've come to for LeBron. And neither one has had an easy path to, the top of their respective paths of what they do. But I don't know, like, at one point in time, nobody was making the music that Drake was making. So it was kind of easy to be considered, the best rapper at that time. But for LeBron, he was playing against the greatest players, some of the greatest players of that modern time and stuff like that. So it's for me, it was easier to say that to respect sense opposed to Drake. And not to mention, Steve, you know how I felt about Pusha Body and Drake. Like,
he got destroyed. Drake got destroyed. I'm never gonna not say that.
And to me, I feel like that exposed a lot of what people needed to see. Mans ain't like that. He cool, but he not like that.
I mean, I never viewed Drake as that kind of rapper anyway, so I never would even put him in that realm and try to judge him on that.
But don't you not think that in order for you to be considered the all-time great, that you have to be, in a sense, be able to stand alone in a battle while still putting out the type of music or hits, in a sense, that you put out?
I mean, maybe, but I don't think being all-time great should be dependent on whether you can prevail in beef or not.
Michael Jordan prevailed in a lot of his things, and he's considered the all-time great.
Michael Jordan, first off, created all the beefs that he had. So let's not compare that, because
Detroit kind of created that way. The Bad Boys definitely created their own beef, but
it ain't like it took much. I mean, it wasn't like it waited till the end of the Bad Boys era. Like, Mike hated it just so he just didn't have. I would credit Detroit with affecting Mike's mental, if anything, but he already was kind of sick in the head from the standpoint of like creating his own beefs to inspire like himself and to like get himself hyped type shit. But I also wouldn't use Mike because like Mike is of course untouchable, and I don't think there's anybody in music that's untouchable. I think that's the difference.
Michael Jackson is definitely untouchable.
Well, okay, Mike is Mike. We're not talking about that Mike. Like, ask Mike.
Anybody named Mike is untouchable at this point. Like, anybody. Like.
But no, but tell you another question for you would be: what do you think is the key to longevity in music and as a career, like being able to continually progress in music and stay relevant, and also stay in a position where you can continue to gain a following and not be stagnant?
I mean, personally, with me, I mean, I'm always in the studio, like creating, like trying new stuff, experimenting. Before this, like I took a lot of time working with a lot of artists, like, seeing how to grow their fan bases, you know what I'm saying, or market them certain ways. So, I mean, it's as far as like staying relevant, it's just kind of with content. Like, you know, drop dope content. Like, I feel like visuals is a really big deal now. I feel like if you don't have a visual, it's kind of like, you know, if you don't have a song. And that's just what it's about. Just painting a picture, creating a brand, and just continuing to get better every day. Like, just continue branding yourself every day. Um, Giving people something to look at. Be transparent as possible. Um, let people see, the grind. You know what I'm saying? Without giving away too much, of course, but let people see the grind. Let people, feel like they're a part of the journey. I feel like, that's how you get those organic followers for sure. Like, they just want to see you getting better every day.
Nah, that's hella real. Hella real. I also think that's important too. How do you feel? Do you feel like there should be a certain level that artists, I don't know, not like give themselves away or like show of themselves, but like, should there be kind of like this bar of like how much you show your audience or how much access, like that's what I'm talking about, how much access you of yourself you give to the public in general, like in terms of trying to gain a following, but then also to your artists who start to follow you? Like, how do you kind of deal with how much access to give or when to give access and when to kind of hold back on it?
I mean, it's kind of up to like, the artist's discretion. Like, as far as, how comfortable they are with, themselves and with other people. I mean, that's just personally, like, I don't try to, give too much of my personal life on, the internet, but if it's about music, I'll show you the grind. You know what I'm saying? And that's like what I'm saying. Like, if I'm in the studio, I'm in the studio. Y'all can see me in the studio. Like Instagram lives, I feel like the Instagram lives was like the dopest shit like it happened. Even like the verses, like the artists versing each other, I feel like that's dope. I feel like that brings fan bases together. You're at your crib, you playing your old hits, and that's you celebrating with your fans. Constantly letting your fans know and appreciate like that you appreciate them for like when you wasn't shit, pretty much. I mean, like I'm never gonna. That's just what it's about. Like just.
I got a question for you. First, what does the table stand for? What made you come up with this concept? And as well, Cartier Che. Why Cartier Che?
I mean, to be honest with you, like Cartier Che was just some fly shit I came up on the fly, and like I said, Lil Wayne and Jay-Z are my favorite, rappers and people like in this music shit. So instead of being like Carter Che or Che Carter, why not fancy it up and be Cartier Che? If that's what you really want the real answer to, why not fancy it up with Cartier Che? But the table, I mean, I just wanted to be able to, have my mark or have a legacy, behind me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want people to like appreciate me for the work I could do for them and not like for myself. I feel like, the table just represents everybody bringing something to the table, which is, the hashtag BS2TT. And, it's just what it stands for. If you're here with me, everybody's contributing. Nobody's leeching. Nobody's, sitting around waiting for the next person to make a move. Everybody's bringing something to the table. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm always looking for people, to come along who got something to offer, not trying to waste no time trying to get it.
That's one thing that I can say with outside of, just this of what we doing, you doing music and me and Steve doing podcasts, but personally knowing you, since meeting you, bro, like your agenda has always been to help the next man out that want to be helped. You know what I'm saying? Like your actions are very genuine. Like if you see somebody that's same mindset that you have, it's like even with you always telling me like keep going forward, me and Steve podcast or what we doing and stuff like that. And even me with, keep going with music, that's much appreciated because you don't have a lot of people that's trying to come up with however they're trying to come up, that's pushing the next man that's not kin to them, just like keep going. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that it seemed like me and you probably known each other for years, and it's just the relationship has really just kind of grown and over like 2.5 years. Like that's what it's, and it's just because like we're hungry about more in life and stuff like that. What the table stands for and what you're doing with it, that's really dope, man. Like keep trying to pull artists that's hungry about music and genuinely want to make great music, you know what I'm saying, and leave a stamp in whatever they want to do. that being said, the table is a platform. You know what I'm saying? That is your platform. And we living in a times where cancel culture,
It's everywhere.
everything. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you need to watch what you say? And I know you don't, but as far as like, because I know you, I know you, but with the table, when you start getting artists on there and stuff like that, what do you want it to stand for? What do you want your platform to stand for? When things that's happening in the world that's happening right now, what would you want the table to stand for?
I mean, to be 100 with you, I mean, being moderate, I have grown over the years, you know what I'm saying, as far as like, you know, Twitter, you know what I'm saying? But I really just never was raised or like even told myself that I can't like speak up about what I believe in. And I feel like when you're talking about what today is, like when we're living around today, that's all this is about, is making sure that you stood on what you believe in. You feel what I'm saying? So if I got an artist with me who believes a whole nother situation, you know what I'm saying, his whole reality, which I do got people around me that have their own ideas about life. I can't tell you not to live that way. You feel me? As long as you being the best person that you can be. And as far as like, you know, my mouth, I feel like if anybody knows me personally, like I said, like if I say something on the internet or say something crazy, a person who knows me like, this nigga Che's crazy, let me call this nigga wilding. If you don't know me or if you don't understand, then it's not meant for you to understand. And like, you know what I'm saying? Any reaction to me is good reaction. You know what I'm saying? That's not being negative. That's just, you know, that's just not, you know, walking with the rest of the doggies. And that's why my stuff is called Bad Doggy. Like my project was called Bad Doggy because it was just about not being able to be broken. You know what I mean? Like when you get a new dog, you train them, you do it. You know, you teach them how to sit at your feet. You can't. And that's the whole concept. You feel me? And that's what I'm saying. Like everything I'm standing for and everything I'm putting on paper, like, or it's really something about me. You know.
That's respect. That's respect.
Yeah, no, that's real shit. That's
you so as far as 2020, besides your album, you know, you love to be biased. What do you think are the top albums that have dropped so far in 2020?
I think A Boogie had a really good album that was slept on. I think he's very much talented, and I think he doesn't get enough credit.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, like for sure. And I think he's gonna be one of the ones that stick around for a long time, but nobody's gonna notice until later on.
That is a very dope prediction.
Yeah. Lil Baby, of course, number 2. Like close number 2, of course. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give Roddy Ricch number 3. Personally, I would probably give Roddy Ricch number 2, but I think I don't know. I still like Lil Baby is kind of getting heavy rotation. You feel me? So yeah, I think Roddy was number 3. Mozzie was number 4. And I don't know, number 5 for
No,
I'm gonna say G Herbo just because I like him, but it probably wasn't him though.
No Future. You don't
Oh yeah, my boy. I forgot about my boy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So hold on. I'm putting Future still number 4, and then putting her. Who'd I put number 4? Mozzie. I'm putting up Mozzie at 5, and I'm putting Future at 4.
Okay. Yeah, man. Hip hop. I don't even want to say hip hop. Rap right now is very changing, man. That's something that we talk about a lot. Who do you think is the guy? Like, who's at the top of the rap game right now? And I ain't gonna fake it, bro. Like, Kanye is edging himself back into relevancy.
We not counting them. Just you gotta leave them alone, bro. He wants to throw these goats in all the time.
Talk
Like they
about
already got
putting
rings.
himself back to relevancy.
Okay, if we talking, okay, Lil Baby's gonna definitely be here. You feel me? If we talking Thug, I mean Thug is really like is gonna be here for a minute too, because he's not only doing like the artistry stuff, and I didn't even get to bring him up, but like honestly, he's doing artistry, but he's also doing A&R work. Yeah. And he's doing what Gucci used to do. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, if y'all, you know, hip on what Gucci was doing for the South and Atlanta music and, you know, stuff like that. Like, he's doing the same stuff. And that's going to keep him around. Um, I think really YSL is really like gonna be like that. Like Future, I think Future, Thug, and kind of like anybody under their umbrella is really gonna pretty much prosper like in this next like 5 years at least.
I mean, the sound is there for sure. I think
Yeah,
that's
and I
yeah,
think that's the sound right now.
yeah, that's the sound that's definitely about to prevail in the next few years, I think. And I think the thing about Thug is like I love having conversations about Thug because I don't think people realize I don't even think Thug is in a peak yet. Honestly, I don't even think he's in his prime yet, and that's the crazy part about the like Thug. And Thug's been around for some time, so
Mm-hmm.
not only that Thug himself is not in his prime, but who is an offspring of Thug. I think you also have to speak to like when you think of Baby and Gunna, like they are offspring of Thug, and Thug had a
Right.
if not so much heavy influence on their music, or influence on like keeping them in rap and pushing them to continue to do music. And I think that the art of doing that has been lost on a lot of people. I mean, I think you see, Jay kind of had that with Cole, and I think you see Wayne had that with, Drake and Nicki. But from a standpoint of really investing in these people and making sure like they continue to do this music, and also like reminding them to be patient and giving them their time to shine. I'm not trying to compare it to either of the, two that I mentioned previously, but I just think that Thug, even being mentioned in that conversation of having artists who are very prominent and damn near at the top of the rap game now that come from your influence and you're pushing to do music, I think that means a lot and says a lot about him as an artist and as a person as well, and speaks to that even like that AR work that he's been doing. So I love having conversations about Thug because I feel like you said, he's going to be around for some time in a multitude of ways. So I think it's going to be interesting to see when it's all said and done, kind of what his entire resume really looks like.
Yeah, I agree. But the young dudes, I think Polo G is hard. I don't know how Jesse feels about Polo G either,
This
but
is the
I
second.
think Polo
This
G
is the
is
second
like
question
the
today.
one
Like,
that's
literally, me personally, I really rock heavy with Polo G. When I heard his first tape last summer, it was like okay, he has potential. And I wasn't optimism about the future. It was like I think I was stuck on that album for that time because it was like he gave me what I needed with the album at that time, where I was at in my life and stuff like that. As crazy as it sounds, like just picking apart the tape and then to come back with the follow up. And the crazy one thing I would say about his follow-up tape is so slept on because of the music that was getting released around the same time that he released his tape, bro. Like it kind of flew under the radar. But if you sit there, like his album was better than a lot of albums that had dropped that week. Like in my honest to God opinion, like Polo G's new album was better than a lot of things that we've heard in quarantine as far as like young rappers that people are talking about and stuff like that. Everybody's buzzing about Dirk. Everybody buzzing about Herb and Baby, and that's not to take away anything of what they're doing, but it would be very disrespectful to sit there and say Polo G has not dropped probably a follow up, a better follow up than what his debut tape was last year.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I heard like singles from Polo G, but I didn't really listen to the tape from last year. But I have spun a couple songs from tape from this year. Haven't listened to it in its entirety. I will admit that, but he is like that, and I do get the feeling that the tape is like that, and I haven't heard anybody say it's not like that. So
That joint crazy, bro. I ain't gonna fake. Like I was very
yeah,
proud.
man. But Che, I got one last question for you. And the answer we got from this previously was funny as hell. So I'm hoping you could top it. But if you had to describe yourself as an artist in 3 words, what would they be?
fuck your feelings. Like for real.
I love it. No, I honestly love it. But no, so why that? Or what? Yeah, like what is that based in?
I mean, personally, just me, like as a person, I'm really unapologetic. I mean, as far as what I believe in, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I know the line between disrespect and not disrespect, of course, but if I feel away, like me and Jesse were saying, like he knows me on a personal level. If I feel away, I'm pretty much standing on that. So like, if you don't really rock with what I'm talking about, you know, fuck how you feel, you know, or fuck your feelings. Either one, you can pick which one. But yeah, for sure, you know, that's just all about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I do appreciate the people have supported me. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a lot of good feedback. I'm getting a lot of good, you know, numbers coming in, you know. Yeah, everybody who's rocking with me, I appreciate it for real.
Thanks. So, before we get off of here, do you have any questions for me and Steve? Anything you wanna dive into, Dog?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you, like, so why do you think that, like, you know, Kendrick and J. Cole are put up on this Mount Rushmore? I was gonna ask you when we were talking. That's my question. Like, why do you think they're not being put up there?
Hey, go ahead, Steve. You go on your thing, bro.
Yeah, I'm never surprised when Kendrick or Cole make it. I guess I would, if I was going to be surprised, it would be more at Kendrick, but I completely understand it. I think for a lot of people, depending on who you ask, like if you ask somebody who's a true student of hip hop or who comes from like eras like before us, and that had the chance to really listen to some of that music from beforehand in real time, I just think in a place where Kendrick and Cole their careers are still very much full-fledged, like in motion. So it's kind of hard. And I also think as great as a discography as Kendrick has, I think it's very hard to pit him against a lot of people in terms of influence. Because when you think of Wayne, Jay, Biggie, and Pac, even just those are already four that from an influence perspective still, you know, have more influence than Kendrick. And that's okay. Like that's no knock to what Kendrick has done so far, you know, like in his career. But I think if you're gonna really talk about a Mount Rushmore, and if you are a student of hip hop, if you really do listen to music and know your music from before your time, it doesn't surprise me at all that they don't make it. And I don't think it's a knock to them that they're not on there. I mean, the Mount Rushmore is difficult and looks different for each person, depending on what kind of music they like and who they fuck with, honestly. So it could really be up in the air. Like, I think the only person that's probably consistent on the Mount Rushmore is Jay and probably Wayne for a lot of people. Other than that the other two can flip. However, you know, so many different
Every 5 years. Like
every 5 years, you know. So I'm not surprised, and I don't think there's a big reason other than the fact that there's so much more for them to do. And I think maybe as time goes on, as people look back 5-10 years from now and look at this last decade or whatever they'll be doing in this next decade, then when you're asking in 2025, 2030, you know, who's maybe on your Mount Rushmore. I think Kendrick before Cole, honestly, just because I feel like Kendrick will have the discography to make the argument, and he'll probably have a little bit more influence than Cole will. I feel like Cole will be right there. But just from a large scale, you can say what you want, Jesse. I'm being honest here. I'm as much of a Cole fan as you is. You know that. But if we being realistic, Kendrick has a much larger influence. Maybe not so much on artists, but I think on music, he has a larger influence. So if it came down to, I think he would be picked first by me over Cole. But I could definitely see 5-10 years from now, both of them being more so in the conversation, probably being on more people Mount Rushmore.
And we haven't said Travis Scott's name this whole time. I just want to say Travis Scott for the sake of like anything, like any
that's fair. Very fair.
I'll say this. I feel like Travis has potential to make he has a potential to make somebody's Mount Rushmore. But I me personally, y'all both know me. I'm big, avid, hardcore hip hop, like hip hop.
Yeah, we know that.
So, I think I just want to see, and I know we'll probably never see it because that's not Travis. Like his style is not to be lyrical. He's a mosh pit. He gonna make the party boom or make his concert boom type of artist, and there's nothing wrong with that. So for me personally, I don't think Travis will personally make my Mount Rushmore, but what his potential, what his impact in music could possibly be as a producer alone could definitely solely put him in the conversation to be on somebody's Mount Rushmore. I believe Travis has the potential to go down as one of the greatest producers that we have seen in a long, long time. And there's some dope it is some dope producers out here. Like me and Steve was talking about that earlier today. But to not Travis Scott in the sound that he bring and stuff like that, because from the albums that he's brought to Astroworld sonically is his best tape to date. Sonically. Substance, people would sonically Astroworld is his best tape to date. Now, when you talk about Substance,
wait a minute.
Bro, Astroworld is not his best sonically tape.
Rodeo is his best album.
I said sonically. Substance.
I'm still like.
No. The sound and the production of Astroworld was so polished, bro.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. Birds was polished as fuck. All right, so
Birds is a very slept on Travis tape.
I don't know why.
I think Birds is a very Travis. You said that you actually like Birds is one of your favorite Travis tapes, but
it is because Birds ain't flawless, but like Birds is extremely polished and way more clean than I think people give him credit for. And he talked like he did a lot on Birds that I don't think people want to mention. Like I think people are, of course, people talk about Rodeo and then people talk about Astroworld, but I think Bird gets lost for whatever reason. I don't know why, but there wasn't a drop off in between like Rodeo and Astroworld. So I don't know. I mean, I think Astroworld sees the maturation of Travis and his production, but I think it would be a very hard argument to say that it's clearly his best album sonically. Like you see the evolution for sure, but
that's just that album that had the biggest budget, bro. That doesn't count.
Hey, no, it did have the biggest budget.
That's all that is. Crazy, you just listen to the budget.
That budget was crazy. For me personally, I think my favorite Travis tape is still Rodeo, and I like. And this is my thing. I be trying to give artists a chance because I don't want to get caught in that like people did with Drake, and it took them so many years to finally admit that Take Care is not his best album. You know what I'm saying? As far as the sense of
that's not going to admit that, bro.
It is. They're not. They don't want to admit that. And I think that's what people are doing with Travis. Like you heard Rodeo and what Rodeo gave, and it's like, all right, when Birds came out, it's like Birds is Birds. But then people anticipated Astroworld so much and the sound that Astroworld was bringing in the marketing that came behind Astroworld, it was hard to just say, okay, let me knock out Birds out the way, then it's Rodeo and Astroworld. Well, in a sense, I'ma still rank Rodeo, Birds, and Astro, but as production value, that's what I mean when I say sonically production value, like you just talked with budgets. Production value, Astroworld is that. If you're talking about an album, that's what that album showed. It showed the potential as a producer and the people that he picked to help produce that tape. That in a couple of years, everybody's gonna be picking from. I feel like personally, everybody's gonna be picking from Travis Scott. Like he's gonna have his hand in so much behind the scenes music that it's gonna be hard to say like Travis isn't that guy. But it's all about the route that he takes. Like he can really be on some. I'm Kanye's next protege, but who knows, bro, the route that he takes, bro. He could fall off, he can move forward. And then one thing that somebody touched on earlier today, it was like there's a lot of people that overhype Travis Scott as well. Like it's a cult following behind Travis Scott. I believe that. I definitely believe that.
I believe the cult following more than the overhype.
I agree.
Would y'all rank him as one of the top 5 producers in today's game?
Yeah.
Probably. He probably toward the bottom.
Yeah.
When you say today's game, are you talking about modern producers?
Okay.
Because this OG still producing.
I say as far as from 2000.
The mumble rap era.
Oh, mumble rapper?
I'm saying like the mumble rap era, like those producers were like all those.
Oh yeah. If we talking about mumble rap era producer, he's in the top 3, and I don't think he's 3.
Travis don't even produce for mumble rap though. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, that's just the time period. Like you got Pierre's and stuff that kind of like focus on that.
Yeah, but I think Travis and Pierre, I think is extremely underrated, by the way. But Travis,
Who's no tape?
but Travis, I think Travis' sound is just so distinct, and it's a sound that always has room to evolve. So I don't think he'll ever hit a point where he doesn't know what to do next or doesn't have something he can experiment with, which I think is what will help him kind of have this lasting career, because he'll always be able to adapt his sound. He'll always be able to adapt.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah,
producer,
he's a conceptual artist. Like that's what I was gonna say. He's a conceptual artist. Like he's like a Kanye, like you was just saying. Like he can come up with a topic, and then that would be the project, and then he'll have another. You know what I'm saying? It's like movies. Like it's not like other artists who kind of just record. And I feel like everything's strategic with him. You know what I'm saying? Like you get like concepts, like everything you do. You feel like you're watching a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like when you listen to his projects, and kind of like when you like listen to early Kanye movies or movie albums, you think it's like it gives an image as a movie, kind of like he's telling a real story.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? That's not even it doesn't have to be lyrical. It's just all about the campaign, how he brought it out, the visuals, everything. It's like you're part of the experience, and not too many artists. I feel like
Facts.
Big facts. I think I don't have nothing else. So unless Che got more questions for us.
I think I'm out, man. I think I'm out. This was fun though. I enjoyed it. I love hearing Jesse talk about his opinions and shit.
Yeah, Jesse be getting real passionate, so it'd be real.
Yeah, he's wild. He really is. He's wild.
When Jesse real passionate about something, it'd be a lot. I just be like, hey, I hear you, bro. I get what you say.
I got you.
But that don't make you right. But I hear you. I get you though. I do hear what you're saying. I got you. It's okay, Jesse. It's all love, bro. It's not a negative thing.
We love you, bro. We really do love you.
All right, man. It's wrapping up another recording of the
No, we like to thank Che for coming on, man. No, thank you. We appreciate it. Like I said, this is long overdue. Glad to have another artist on here to interview and just talk music with. And just to introduce you to another fan base and following the bars. And we hope that y'all that follow the Interlude definitely go check out his music and just check out him, man, and just follow the grind. Like that's what it's about. And shit, just keep up with all the other content we got coming, and look out for new music and new updates coming from Che
as well.
Updates and stuff.
Link at the bottom of this video. We definitely gonna be putting Che music out here. So man, just go ahead and tap into him. If you gotta pick anything from his tapes, hey, you gonna find you something. So that's all it is to you, man.
Yeah, you're gonna walk away with something
to the show as well, man. That's love.
For sure. I appreciate y'all. For sure. This was fun, man.
Of course, man.
I can't wait to come back in like another year, man, for sure. And
it's gonna be lit, bro.
It's gonna be even crazier, for sure.
We definitely gonna make it happen. But then, all right, until next time, it's the Interlude. Peace.